Who would have thought that a 78-year-old lady would be here today, speaking so openly about a subject as intimate and delicate as this? When we think back to how things were, it's clear that times have truly changed. In the past, topics like this were hidden away, treated as something too personal to be discussed, especially in public. Conversations about sex were whispered, if they happened at all. And as for discussing how often one should or should not reach the peak of pleasure, well, that was simply out of the question. But look at how the world has shifted. Today we find ourselves in a time where we can talk about these topics with openness and honesty, without fear of judgment or shame. And that's a good thing, because learning about our bodies never gets old. Now, with that in mind, let's get ready to explore this fascinating subject further, breaking down myths, looking at the science, and most importantly, learning how to take better care of ourselves. When it comes to men's health, one area that often gets overlooked is a small but important gland. We're talking about a part of the body that has a bigger role than many of us realize. It isn't just about physical function. It's connected to something deeper in male wellness. We're asking ourselves, can frequent physical activity in this regard make a difference to long-term health? Interestingly, science has been curious too and decided to take a closer look. Researchers have found that staying active in this area of life might have unexpected benefits. It's not just about short-term satisfaction, but about keeping this small gland functioning well over time. How exactly does this work? The answer lies in understanding how fluid is produced and its role in the body. This particular gland plays a part in creating a fluid that is crucial for certain biological processes. When we engage in physical activity more frequently, this fluid is regularly expelled, keeping things moving and preventing buildup. Now, imagine what might happen if things were left inactive for too long. There are signs that this stagnation may not be the best for overall health. Recent research has provided more insights into a potentially important connection. We're learning that frequency in this area could lower the chances of future health problems, particularly with this gland. In fact, there's evidence that men who are more active throughout the month might have an added layer of protection. Studies suggest that a more frequent routine, let's say more than 21 times a month, could be linked to a reduced risk of problems, including some that may become serious over time. The theory behind this connection is quite simple but powerful. Keeping things moving helps maintain a healthy flow, which could prevent harmful substances from building up. This movement, in turn, can help reduce the likelihood of inflammation, which is often at the root of long-term health issues. Regular activity might lower the risk of developing certain conditions that are associated with this inflammation. It's all about preventing things from becoming stagnant. What's even more fascinating is how this protective effect has been observed in multiple studies. When men with different levels of activity were compared, those with a more regular routine showed a significantly lower risk of serious problems. It seems that staying engaged in this aspect of life could be an essential part of protecting long-term health. But we must think about this from a holistic perspective. It's not just about one action or one outcome. It's about maintaining balance and keeping the body systems functioning smoothly. Let us share a story of our friend, Michael. Michael was a hard-working man, the type who put his family first and always prioritized work above everything else. In his mid-40s, he enjoyed a stable career and a good life, but like many of us, he rarely took time to focus on his health. Busy with the responsibilities of everyday life, Michael assumed that as long as he felt fine, there was nothing to worry about. His family, his job, and the daily grind were his main concerns, while his health sat quietly in the background. It wasn't until a conversation with an old college friend that Michael's perspective began to shift. His friend had recently undergone a health scare, and was quick to remind Michael how fragile well-being can be, especially when we neglect certain areas of our lives. They spoke about the importance of regular checkups and maintaining a balanced lifestyle. But one thing in particular caught Michael's attention. His friend mentioned how men's health, particularly in relation to a small but important gland, could benefit from certain kinds of regular activity. At first, Michael shrugged it off. Like many men, he thought he had nothing to worry about, until months later, he began to feel a nagging discomfort that wouldn't go away. It wasn't painful, but it was enough to make him notice. It was in those quiet moments when he realized that something wasn't quite right. His energy levels had dropped, and he felt more sluggish than usual. One day, during a routine checkup, Michael brought it up to his doctor. His doctor listened carefully and suggested they run a few tests. What surprised Michael wasn't the results of the tests themselves, but the conversation that followed. The doctor explained how certain areas of male health, particularly involving this small but critical gland, often get overlooked. The doctor asked Michael about his lifestyle, his habits, and, more specifically, whether he maintained a regular routine of certain activities. This led to a deeper discussion. Michael's doctor explained that regular physical activity, particularly in this area, could help maintain the health of the gland and prevent the buildup of harmful substances. Michael was intrigued. His doctor pointed to research suggesting that men who engage in this specific type of activity more frequently might have lower risks of developing certain problems later in life. Studies showed that staying active in this way could reduce the risk of serious conditions by keeping the flow of fluids moving regularly, reducing the chances of inflammation and other health concerns. Michael left the appointment feeling more informed, but he was also reflective. He had never considered how something so basic could be tied to long-term health. Over the next few weeks, he began to prioritize this aspect of his routine more intentionally. He started talking with his wife, sharing what he had learned, and they both agreed to take a more proactive approach to his health. Months passed, and Michael noticed changes. Not only did he feel more energized, but he also felt more in tune with his body. The discomfort he had once felt disappeared, and he found a new sense of balance in his life. His doctor had also mentioned that staying active this way could be one of many steps toward preventing potential health problems. Michael took this advice seriously, adopting a more holistic approach to his well-being. As time went on, Michael began to share his story with friends and family. It became a topic of conversation among his close circle of friends, many of whom had also neglected their health. Michael's story encouraged them to be more mindful of their own routines, and some even went on to discuss the matter with their doctors as well. One of his friends, Daniel, had always been skeptical about health advice. Daniel was the kind of person who dismissed concerns as things that wouldn't happen to him. But after hearing Michael's experience and the tangible changes in his energy and health, Daniel decided to make some changes too. Slowly but surely, Daniel began incorporating more mindful habits into his life, including taking better care of this overlooked aspect of his health. A few years later, at a gathering, the two friends caught up again. They laughed about how something so simple had sparked such profound changes in their lives. Michael was grateful he had listened to that initial advice from his college friend all those years ago, and Daniel was thankful he had paid attention to Michael's journey. Michael's story became a testament to the importance of taking care of ourselves, even in ways that might not seem obvious at first. By being proactive and taking small steps, he had managed to avoid potential health problems and lead a more balanced life. His experience showed how something as overlooked as regular physical activity could make all the difference in maintaining long-term health. As we grow, our understanding of the world and ourselves deepens, and that curiosity we had when we were younger doesn't fade. Instead, it evolves. We may find ourselves thinking about things we never gave much thought to before, like how our sexual health impacts our overall well-being, no matter our age. We may ask ourselves, how does something as natural as ejaculation affect us physically, emotionally, and even mentally? It's a topic that's been around for centuries, yet it still manages to intrigue and spark curiosity. Some may wonder if there's an ideal frequency, while others might question whether abstaining has any health benefits or drawbacks. These aren't new questions, but as science advances, the answers continue to surprise us. Research suggests a fascinating connection between sexual frequency and prostate health. Regular ejaculation may lead to the production of beneficial compounds that support the protection of prostate cells. Some studies hint that this process may play a role in reducing risks of serious health conditions. This sheds light on the idea that sexual activity is not only about pleasure. It may also be a way to contribute to long-term health. Maintaining a healthy pattern of ejaculation could be one factor in promoting prostate wellness as we age. However, we cannot reduce health to just one habit. It is always a blend of factors. A balanced diet, regular physical activity, and genetics all play significant roles. But understanding the link between sexual activity and prostate health is thought-provoking. It encourages us to consider how natural processes might support overall well-being. After sexual release, the body experiences more than emotional relief. The body releases hormones like prolactin and oxytocin. These chemicals bring feelings of relaxation and calm. This is crucial, as a relaxed body tends to function more efficiently. Stress relief is a well-known contributor to better health, and sexual activity is part of that equation. The sense of balance that comes from easing tension helps many parts of our body work more smoothly. As we age, our bodies undergo various changes. Hormonal functions evolve, and maintaining vitality becomes a greater focus. Staying sexually active may help preserve physical health too. It is not about excess or extremes, but about keeping the body in a natural rhythm. A healthy sex life becomes a way to support well-being over the years. Everyone's ideal sexual routine is different. What works for one may not work for another. This is a key idea. Our bodies function best when we allow them to follow their own rhythms. Some may need more activity, others less. Finding what feels natural is essential. It's important to note that sexual health is one part of a much larger picture. But what about those who choose to limit ejaculation? There is a growing interest in the concept of sexual energy retention. This involves intentionally avoiding ejaculation, sometimes during intercourse or over longer periods. Some believe this practice helps conserve physical and mental energy. Others claim it can improve long-term sexual performance. It's an interesting approach, but we must ask, is this idea grounded in science, or is it just another passing trend? This idea may seem surprising. In a world that often emphasizes immediate gratification, the concept of holding back seems counterintuitive. Yet some men passionately defend this practice. They argue that by retaining this energy, they feel more powerful, mentally sharp, and focused. The question is, does this belief hold up under scientific scrutiny? There is still much to learn about the effects of semen retention. Many of the claims supporting it come from personal experiences rather than solid scientific research. Some men report increased energy and heightened mental clarity when they reduce the frequency of ejaculation. Others describe feeling less tired and more sexually alert. These experiences are compelling, but they remain largely anecdotal. Even though scientific backing is limited, it is clear that sexual health can take many forms. For some, retaining sexual energy aligns with their physical and emotional needs. For others, regular ejaculation feels more natural and beneficial. Neither approach is universally right or wrong. What matters most is understanding how our bodies respond and finding a balance that supports our well-being. Our goal should be to listen to our bodies and recognize the diversity of human experience. Whether one chooses to maintain a more frequent or less frequent sexual routine, the focus should be on health and balance. We have many tools at our disposal to support well-being, and sexual health is one piece of that larger puzzle. As more research emerges, we may gain a deeper understanding of how sexual habits influence overall health. But for now, listening to our bodies is key. 1. Maintain a balanced ejaculation routine. Frequency. Regular but not excessive, such as 2 to 3 times a week for most men. Explanation. Ejaculating regularly supports prostate health by promoting the release of beneficial compounds, including antioxidants. However, overdoing it can lead to fatigue and reduced sexual drive. The goal is balance, frequent enough to maintain health, but without depleting the body's energy reserves. Each person's ideal frequency may vary based on their lifestyle and health, but moderation is key. 2. Engage in regular physical exercise. Frequency. Aim for at least 30 minutes of moderate exercise 5 times a week. Explanation. Physical activity is crucial for overall health and plays a significant role in supporting sexual function. Exercise helps maintain hormonal balance, reduces stress, and improves circulation, all of which contribute to better sexual health and vitality. Regular exercise such as walking, swimming, or strength training can help prevent erectile dysfunction and support prostate health by reducing inflammation. 3. Focus on a nutrient-rich diet. Frequency. Follow a balanced, prostate-friendly diet daily. Explanation. A healthy diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins helps to support prostate health. Foods high in antioxidants like tomatoes, berries, and leafy greens reduce oxidative stress in prostate cells. Omega-3 fatty acids from fish can also reduce inflammation. Limiting red meat, processed foods, and sugary items is important to prevent prostate issues and maintain overall sexual health. 4. Limit stress and manage anxiety. Frequency. Practice stress-relieving activities daily, such as mindfulness or deep breathing. Explanation. Stress has a significant impact on sexual health, leading to reduced libido, performance issues, and even physical health problems like high blood pressure. By managing stress through meditation, yoga, or even hobbies, we can enhance our mood and maintain a healthy sex life. Reducing stress can improve overall well-being and support prostate function by keeping stress hormones like cortisol in check. 5. Get enough sleep every night. Frequency. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night. Explanation. Sleep is essential for hormone regulation and overall energy. A lack of sleep can lead to hormonal imbalances that impact sexual health, including reduced testosterone levels. Poor sleep can also affect mental health, leading to anxiety and stress, which further reduces sexual desire and performance. Prioritizing rest allows the body to recharge and function optimally. 6. Stay hydrated throughout the day. Frequency. Drink 8 to 10 glasses of water per day, more if physically active. Explanation. Proper hydration supports circulation, digestion, and general bodily functions, all of which are crucial for maintaining sexual health. Dehydration can lead to fatigue, reduced energy, and poor sexual performance. Drinking enough water helps to flush toxins from the body and keeps cells, including those in the prostate, healthy and functioning properly. 7. Practice sexual energy retention, if desired. Frequency. Experiment with this practice occasionally, such as once or twice a month. Explanation. For those interested in practicing sexual energy retention, it's important to strike a balance. Retaining ejaculation can be beneficial for some men in terms of conserving energy and improving mental clarity. However, it should be practiced in moderation, as completely abstaining for long periods can lead to frustration, tension, or even prostate discomfort. Each individual should pay attention to how their body reacts to find the right balance. 8. Monitor your prostate health regularly. Frequency. Schedule a checkup once a year, or more frequently if at risk. Explanation. Regular screenings and medical checkups are essential for prostate health, especially as men age. Routine exams, including PSA, prostate-specific antigen tests, help detect any early signs of prostate issues, such as enlargement or cancer. Early detection allows for better treatment options and improves long-term health outcomes. Staying proactive with healthcare can prevent major complications down the road. 9. Maintain open communication with partners. Frequency. Have honest conversations about sexual health as needed, ideally monthly. Explanation. A healthy sex life relies on good communication. Partners should feel comfortable discussing their sexual needs, concerns, and any changes in sexual habits. These conversations help reduce misunderstandings, build trust, and ensure that both partners are satisfied. Being open about sexual health can also reduce anxiety and make it easier to address issues like changes in frequency or performance. 10. Take time for mental health and emotional well-being. Frequency. Practice self-care and mental health activities weekly. Explanation. Mental health is closely linked to sexual health. Emotional stress, depression, and anxiety can lead to reduced libido and sexual dysfunction. Taking time for activities that promote mental wellness, like therapy, meditation, or creative outlets, can significantly improve both emotional and physical health. By focusing on mental well-being, we can boost confidence, reduce sexual anxiety, and support overall sexual vitality. What's fascinating is that this topic, which once stirred so much secrecy and even fear, has become an area where we can explore deeper truths about the human body. We've long lived in a world where myths about sexuality, especially male sexuality, were passed down through generations. I'm sure many of us have heard stories about how too much sexual activity could supposedly drain a man's energy, leaving him weak. Some believed it could even shorten one's life. Older men would sometimes fret over how often they finished, as if it was something they could ration for later years. But today, we know better. The human body is far more complex, resilient, and adaptive than those old tales gave it credit for. On one side, some medical experts point out that keeping semen for extended periods may cause physical discomfort and built-up tension. It can even lead to nocturnal emissions, where the body naturally releases excess semen during sleep. This shows that, for many, the body takes care of itself, releasing what it needs to when the time is right. Forcing retention, then, might not be as natural as some think. We also need to consider the emotional aspect. For some men, practicing retention gives a sense of control and inner strength. However, for others, it can create feelings of frustration, unease, and heightened physical tension. This is where the challenge lies. If the aim is to feel better, it's hard to justify a practice that leads to more stress than relief. The goal should always be to enhance well-being, not to introduce unnecessary strain. Still, the concept of retention continues to captivate many. Some see it as a way to free themselves from societal pressures surrounding intimacy. Others are convinced it can improve their emotional stability and sharpen their control over desires. Whatever the reason, it's vital that each person understands their own body and knows what feels right. There isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. For some, retaining energy may bring clarity and a renewed sense of vitality. For others, regularly releasing may be what keeps their body and mind balanced. The key is to recognize personal boundaries and not push the body into habits that don't match with individual well-being. Every man is different, and what works for one may not work for another. The secret lies in listening to the body's signals and responding to what feels most natural and beneficial. There's wisdom in tuning in and understanding one's own rhythms. For some, this practice becomes a personal journey, exploring the boundaries of their self-control and emotional resilience. Yet for others, it may feel like a struggle against their natural instincts. which can lead to more harm than good. The important thing is to approach it with a sense of balance. The body has a way of communicating its needs. Sometimes it asks for release, and sometimes it thrives on holding back. But this dialogue between mind and body should be gentle, not forced. It's a conversation of self-awareness, where wisdom guides actions, not pressure. At the core of all this is the principle of balance. Too much of anything, even if it's rooted in good intentions, can lead to an imbalance. Retention, for some, might offer a sense of focus and energy. For others, it might become an added source of tension. The key is not to compare oneself to others. What one person may find empowering, another might find overwhelming. We each have our own journey, and what works for one is not a rule for all. It's about personal discovery, not conformity. Exploring these practices can be insightful, but we must approach them with flexibility and respect for our natural state. Trying to force ourselves into something that creates discomfort is counterproductive. What we're now learning is that release isn't just about pleasure. It's linked to various aspects of health, from emotional balance to physical well-being and even longevity. Recent research suggests that it could play a role in everything from reducing stress to potentially lowering the risk of certain diseases. Of course, this is still an area of ongoing study, and the science is constantly evolving. But the point is, we're starting to see the bigger picture. It's not just about the momentary release. It's about how our bodies respond to it, adapt to it, and in many cases, benefit from it. Let's take a step back and think. How do we view our own bodies? How do we approach our sexuality? For many, this might be a difficult question to answer, especially if we grew up in a time when such things were kept hush-hush. But here's the thing. The more we talk about it, the more we learn, and the more empowered we become. Whether we're young or old, these conversations matter. Sexuality is a fundamental part of who we are, and it doesn't disappear with age. In fact, understanding it better as we grow older can lead to a more fulfilling and balanced life. What has your relationship with your body been like? Have you ever stopped to think about how this intimate act, or the lack of it, affects your health? It's easy to dismiss this topic as something trivial, but when we look closer, we see that it's tied to so many aspects of our well-being: physical, emotional, and even psychological. That's why conversations like this are so important. They allow us to break free from the constraints of outdated beliefs and step into a new understanding of our health. There's no room for judgment here, only learning and curiosity. We're all on this journey together, discovering more about our bodies, our health, and our well-being as we age. And if there's one thing we've learned in 78 years, it's that knowledge truly is power. The more we know, the better equipped we are to make decisions that benefit us in the long run, including when it comes to our sexual health. We've touched on both sides of the coin, frequency and retention. Now it's time to explore one of the most complex and crucial aspects of sexual health: the delicate balance between body and mind. This is where things get truly intricate. What suits the body doesn't always align with the needs of the mind, and vice versa. Striking this harmony becomes especially significant when we talk about ejaculation. When discussing sexual health, particularly the frequency of ejaculation, the interplay between body and mind is key. Stress melts away, prostate health improves, sleep becomes deeper and more restorative. The immune system strengthens, mood elevates, all thanks to the release of hormones like oxytocin and prolactin, which bathe the mind in relaxation and well-being. But, as with all things, balance is vital. When ejaculation occurs too frequently, it can lead to physical fatigue. Testosterone levels may drop temporarily. Emotional weariness can creep in, affecting motivation and mood. On the flip side, there's seminal retention. Some advocate for withholding ejaculation for extended periods, claiming it enhances physical energy, sharpens mental focus, and fosters emotional control. Yet holding back comes with its own set of challenges. Frustration builds, tension rises, physical discomfort may emerge, whether it's in the form of nocturnal emissions or a more direct discomfort like testicular pain. In essence, both frequent ejaculation and prolonged retention carry their own set of benefits and drawbacks. The real challenge lies in finding a personal balance. Let's put aside any discomfort or hesitation and dive into this conversation with openness. Whether we're talking about ejaculation or any other aspect of health, it's important to approach it from a place of understanding and curiosity. We all deserve to feel informed and empowered when it comes to our bodies, no matter how old we are. After all, it's never too late to learn and improve, especially when it comes to something as vital as our health. The most important takeaway here: understand your unique body and mind. Each person has their own rhythm, their own natural flow. What works for one might not work for another. The secret is to listen carefully to the signals your body sends. Respect these signals and seek that personal balance where both your sexual and emotional health thrive in harmony. Now, let's ask ourselves a question. How does your body react in these situations? Have you ever paused to observe how different choices impact your overall well-being? When you feel attuned to your body, the path becomes clearer. It's not about following rigid rules laid down by others. It's about living in sync with your own rhythms. We urge you to live with wisdom. Make choices driven by self-love and respect, not out of fear of judgment or the opinions of others. What you choose should be for you, not because someone says it's right or wrong. Through years of learning, we've come to understand that everyone's journey to health and fulfillment is different. Are you intrigued by these ideas? Are you beginning to see how sexual health connects to other areas of your life? If so, keep exploring. There's so much more to uncover. This conversation is just the start. Don't hesitate to dive deeper into the topic and share what resonates with you. Feel free to spread the knowledge with those around you. This is how we grow together, by sharing insights and experiences. If this topic speaks to you, don't forget to leave a like. Help us bring this conversation to more people. Subscribe to stay connected and continue exploring with us, and we'd love to hear from you. What did you think? How has this resonated with your own experience? Leave a comment below and let us know where you're watching from. We're always eager to hear different perspectives. Thank you, and see you in the next video.